how's it going? Welcome to today's installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I'm getting red and I'm getting the sunburn is starting to set in, I think. I just finished working on the Saab for the last video. So I just finished it a little over an hour ago. And now I'm here to do another vlog about Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. There are actually a couple of cool things that I want to show you guys with today's particular vlog, and we will get into that here in just a moment. So yes, this video is actually coming off of a comment that was submitted on not the last vlog, but the vlog before that, which was more of an update vlog, and the comment was pretty much asking if there was ever a chance if Mike's Vehicle Spotlight could return, if the dealership that I work for now would allow me to, you know, film the cars and take them out for test drives and such like that. I feel like there might be a little too much of a response for me to type out, which is kind of why I decided to make this video, kind of hitting that question a little later on. But there again, like I said, I found something cool recently, and it's actually really cool. I wanted to kind of present it to you guys, you know, while I still had it fresh in my mind. But I know a lot of people who started watching this channel after I, you know, pretty much wrapped up Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. There, at this point, maybe a lot of people who watch this channel or these videos and they don't know exactly what Mike's Vehicle Spotlight is or was. So real quick, I'm going to tell you guys exactly what Mike's Vehicle Spotlight was and what my goal for doing Mike's Vehicle Spotlight, like what I wanted to accomplish by doing it. So it was a video series that I had started in the official anniversary date, I believe it's January 8th of 2011. That was my very first Mike's Vehicle Spotlight upload. The video itself was probably filmed a day or two before that. So January of 2011 is the official kickoff of Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. And the idea kind of stemmed from a few other factors, you know, in my life. I have always enjoyed working with camera. I know a lot of you guys probably know that by now. And I also, you know, enjoy cars and music, and for, you know, Mike's Vehicle Spotlight was honestly just the way for me to bring all of that stuff together. It was more so a way to present vehicles the way that I never really see them presented. Like, you know, a lot of people want to know more things about performance and road testing and stuff. But when I was doing Mike's Vehicle Spotlight, it was more so like I just want to know what size engine it has, what are the features of it, what are the options that this particular car in front of us has, the color name, wheel size, stuff like that, you know. And it's just, Mike's Vehicle Spotlight was just my way of presenting a vehicle with just the basic information about that particular car that was in front of us. It's basically like the child in me, you know, bringing out the child in me. And because when I was a kid and, you know, I would look at pictures of cars and stuff, or even when my parents would take us to buy a car or something and I'd be in the showroom, just being in the car and looking around and just kind of studying everything. And that's kind of what I was trying to do with Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. That's why it's basically supposed to be first-person view of just looking around the car, as if you were there yourself and wanting to maybe purchase it, or you're just there, you know, out of curiosity. Like, obviously, when I was younger, that's all I could really do. I couldn't buy a car. But that's what I tried to accomplish with Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. I know some people over the years, a lot of people, for the most part, have praised Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. But there are some people who didn't really care for it all that much. A lot of people were upset that I couldn't take every car off the lot, and I can't. That's just, that's something that I can't do. I couldn't do. Every once in a while, a dealership would give me, a free pass, and I'd be able to take a car out for a day or whatever, but I couldn't do that all the time. These aren't press cars, These are legit cars for sale, and obviously I'm held responsible if anything happens to them. So that's one thing. That's one reason why they can't leave. Another thing is because you can't really throw mileage on too many cars that are up for sale. Dealerships have designated demo cars, which every now and then I was able to get a demo car, but yeah, they have designated cars that they're selling that are for demonstration use only, and so those are the cars that they'll allot up to a certain mileage before they retire them and throw them on the lot, for sale at like a discounted price or something. But a typical car on the lot I can't just take out all the time and drive, but every once in a while they'd let me do it. So people were upset by that every once in a while. I know the biggest thing was the background music in the earlier MVS episodes. I didn't want to keep that song, for as long as I did. I just, at the time when I started it, I just wanted to throw some stupid random song together just to have as background noise, over top of my narration. And it went on a little longer than I, wanted it to do, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it, and I'm sorry if you don't like it. I will be honest, I don't like it now either. But yeah, so Mike's Vehicle Spotlight started phasing out around 2017. That was really the last year that I started to get, a pretty decent stockpile of vehicles. But along with 2017, there were a lot of other things in life changing. I had actually gotten a job at the one dealership that I always did most of my filming at, which also meant that there wasn't always time to do, videos, because now I'm working there. So, there's that, and then also, during business hours, I'm working at a dealership where other dealerships are running the same hours, so, there's a lot of times where I can't just go to another dealership because I'm obviously working at one, and I can't film by the time I leave work because chances are on that particular night they're closing up in like an hour, and an hour for me to do a car, I can get one car in, but I feel rushed. So that's, you can't just do that. I hate rushing through it. I like to take my time to get my shots of all the cars and stuff. Try to make sure I get everything that I can usually think of and present, and what I'm going to write about and all that stuff. So that's right around the time MVS started phasing out. I did start the vlogs in 2016, kind of as a backup. I've kind of talked about this before. It was more of a, if I can't get a vlog or a video, an MVS feature out this week, maybe I could do a vlog. The vlogs, are easier to do. They usually don't take too much time to edit, much like Mike's Vehicle Spotlight would. So chances are a vlog was just a little easier, and as time went on, it really did become the easiest form of video for me to present to you guys on this channel. I did try to bring Mike's Vehicle Spotlight back at least twice after 2017, and I think 2019 may have been the last time I did one. I think I did 3 videos in 2019. I tried to present a brand new Mike's Vehicle Spotlight format that I actually thought was working out kind of well. I still had some kinks to work out within the 3 videos, but I'm sure if I had kept doing it that way, I would have eventually had a nice, steady routine with the videos, much like, if you look at the very earliest MVS features and you kind of watch them as they go over the first few months, you kind of start to see the rhythm that I was getting, and that's pretty much how I developed the format. Eventually it became something, I found something that I liked for a long time, and that's what I was trying to do in 2019. But the three videos didn't really cut it because, you know, eventually I just couldn't do it. And there again, when I had camera and software issues with, you know, while doing Mike's Vehicle Spotlight back in 2017, that also threw my game off. There was a point where I started to get MVS kind of back on track, and then my original MVS camera burned out, and my studio software for my narration and stuff, that computer that I had with it on there, it tanked, it crashed. I lost all of that stuff, and it took me a while to be able to buy some new software for that. So 2 key features that I had to use for Mike's Vehicle Spotlight, and those just completely died, you know. So that kind of messed up the groove, and that's, at that point, that's why I was like, I think we're done with MVS for the time being. And then, you know, in 2020, COVID hit, and but I think beforehand, I actually put a video out. It might have been toward the end of 2019, or it might have been in the very beginning of 2020, where I made a video and I said, basically, I'm not even going to try doing Mike's Vehicle Spotlight at that point on, just because of, you know, the situations that were going on in life at the time, and also, you know, it was before the pandemic, so even if I wanted to bring MVS back in 2020, I'm sure the pandemic would have definitely done a whole lot of damage control as far as not being able to just go into every dealership. The dealership that I had worked at and filmed at for so long, they had actually closed temporarily for everybody's safety, so they weren't even open for, you know, a little while during the pandemic. And I know there are other dealerships that did the same. The dealership that I work at now, actually, they ended up closing. They closed their dealerships during the pandemic until we kind of had a handle on what was going on, you know. So even if I wanted to bring 2020 MVS back, it would not have happened because of the fact that people were closing and afraid of getting sick, and I wouldn't be able to just go into a car and touch everything and stuff. A lot of dealerships that were open were very strict about who's going into their cars and making sure everything had to be sanitized afterwards, and it just would have been complete chaos. So there's that. I discovered something on the internet not that long ago. Somebody at work had actually told me about it, and I decided to try it on my YouTube channel. So apparently, let me get my screen recorder started because we're going to do this together. Am I recording? It looks like it is recording. This is called the Wayback Machine. It's an internet archive site, and I'm actually really surprised at some of the stuff that you can actually pull up to look at a website from like back years ago, you know. All depends on when what they consider a snapshot is taken. And I decided to put my YouTube channel in because I wanted to see how far back you know, this website captured my YouTube, or whoever does it, I don't know, but it looks like my YouTube channel was actually saved 22 times between October 28th of 2011 and June 8th of 2022. So that's the last time that my site had actually been looked at. I decided to look at the earliest one, obviously, because October 28th of 2011, that is the very first year of Mike's Vehicle Spotlight still, and the channel was still very young. My YouTube channel actually started, I think it was in 09 is when I started the channel, or 08 or 09, I can't remember now. I want to say 09, but anyway, so yeah, and 2011 is really when I started using the channel to bulk up the car videos. Before that, it was a channel that I was using for my musician stuff, which I have since created a second channel for that, since this channel had become nothing but car-related stuff. So, if we actually click on the link, it's going to take us to my YouTube homepage from that particular day and time. And if we look at the old YouTube format, I remember when YouTube did this, you know, and yeah, the background is there. I mean, it's so crazy. Like, this was my channel, you know. In 2011, the very first year that Mike's Vehicle Spotlight had taken place, and we can see that the latest video was the 2012 Volkswagen Beetle um, October 23rd, 2011. Had 72 views at that point in time, and then over in the other column, we can see 6 days before that was the Mercedes-Benz ML350, the Toyota Camry. I had just started filming at a Toyota dealership temporarily, so the Toyota Camry, the Volvo, the Volkswagen, those were all at this particular Toyota dealership. I give a story about MVS right there. That was 4 weeks ago, apparently. Now, keep in mind when you look at this, not everything is either saved or working correctly. A lot of the links may be dead. This is, like I said, it's just a snapshot, so it just kind of captures all of the main information from the site and stuff, and yeah, just it turns it into an archive. So I thought that this was so cool to see, and if we just keep going, like, you know, a lot of these are dead pictures apparently for the time being, but just looking at all of the earlier MVS videos that were, you know, uploaded and stuff, and I even had a music video there that I ended up taking off and putting on the other channel at some point. But yeah, it's just so weird to see this, you know. Another video, I don't know how far back it'll let you go. I think I tried this yesterday and it didn't work, so there's no point in hitting that. But if we scroll down here, we can actually see, you know, all of my biography and stuff, like the About Me section, which I don't think is there anymore on YouTube. It might be, but like, yeah, joined February 21st of 2009. 5 days ago was my last activity. I was 24 at the time, apparently, you know, at that time. So that's very weird to see. The battery on my camera is probably going to die here in a bit, so I'll have to probably stop and recharge. But yeah, so there's all of that information there. The recent activity where, you know, if I responded to a comment, stuff like that, showed you all the subscribers. I had 147 subscribers at that time in 2011. I am now over 20,000 subscribers. Isn't that amazing to think? You had friends on there and channel comments, channels that I subscribed to at the time. So coming across this is just an amazing thing to see, and I just can't believe that you can actually do that. And then if we fast forward, let's go to the 2012 date, whatever is in 2012. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time doing this just because. Oh, see, YouTube changed again. So yeah, this wow, I remember this format too. Yep, there's the backgrounds there, and it's so weird to see this. I had 1,060 subscribers. This is October 25th of 2012 was this particular snapshot. As we can see here, some of the thumbnails obviously, you know, didn't capture or aren't loading right now. Man, YouTube, that's when YouTube became kind of basic looking, you know, at that time. If we hit browse videos, does it do anything? No. So, like I said, some of the links are just kind of dead. If we go to the next one, April 14th of 2013, it still looks like it's the similar format. The video views over 1 million views at this point, almost 2,000 subscribers. Yeah, we're definitely in 2013 now, so man, it's just so cool to, you know, to see that. Will this take us to the next one? March 12th of 2014. This is more so the current YouTube layout. It looks like none of it wants to load right now, but this is the current layout, I think, for the most part. There's really not a whole lot. Let me try to refresh this and see if it maybe works a little bit better. And maybe not. 3,730 subscribers. Wow. So yeah, that is really cool. If there's a particular site that you're interested in, web.archive.org is the Wayback Machine address, and you just have to know what the exact URL is, and chances are you'll find some sort of historical, you know, snapshot there. So that's just so cool. I wanted to share that with you guys since we were talking about MVS, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got for now. Let me charge this camera up real quick, and I'm finally gonna tell you guys: is it possible to bring MVS back? You know, if I really wanted to. Alright, folks, we're back. I gave the camera some rest time. Hopefully, it's enough for me to at least finish this portion of this video, so we can all carry on with whatever we were doing beforehand. So yeah, so the question was basically, like I said in the beginning of the video, this person wanted to know if, you know, my current dealership, you know, if they were to allow me to do Mike's Vehicle Spotlight and film cars and stuff there, would I bring back MVS? And, you know, to be quite honest, no. At this point, and I really hate saying that because I enjoyed it for so many years. I got to, you know, look at and, you know, kind of drive cars, you know, that some cars I never thought that I would actually be able to drive, or you know, like a Viper. I did, you know, a couple of Vipers and a Porsche, and there's just a bunch of them, you know, that I was fascinated with, and I'm glad that I was able to actually bring to you guys. But you know, there's a few reasons, and like I said, this is why I really didn't respond in keyboard form, because I feel like it's just easier for me to get it all out, you know, verbally on video. So you know, the first real reason is because again, time. It's very time consuming to do Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. The filming itself takes, you know, some time. The editing process takes time. Researching that vehicle takes time. Scripting takes time. Recording the narration takes time. The only thing that really doesn't take a whole lot of time is taking the video edit and the audio edit and putting them over top of each other. That is probably the quickest process. But then you have the rendering, and that also takes a little time with all of the elements that go into the project. Yeah, so like I said, the vlogs are not as time consuming as making MVS. With working at the dealership, you know, when I'm there, I have to work, and that's what it comes down to. Pretty much, you know, a similar situation to when I worked at the last dealership when I was doing MVS. You know, when I'm there, pretty much I work, and then when it's time to go home, the dealership on most nights is only open for like another hour by the time I leave. Sometimes I gotta stay over, so, you know, the time to actually film there would not really happen unless it was a later night, where the dealership's open till like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. But even then, by the end of the day, you know, I just want to go home and relax, or throw a vlog together or do something else. But yeah, the timing is just, you know, the time to do it is just not feasible. Now, when I was in my, you know, early 20s and mid 20s and even a little bit to my 30s, you know, I worked part-time, and honestly, it was, for the most part, it was part-time, but the job that I had when I started MVS made it a lot easier to go out and film. I had a nighttime job, an overnight job, so, you know, I had basically all day to go out, film, come home, start doing the editing and stuff like that, eat dinner, and then I'd go to work at 8 o'clock at night. And a lot of times, you know, I'd be there anytime between midnight and 3 or 4, maybe 5 in the morning. Depending on what time I'd get to leave, I would come home and I would continue to work on my editing or the research and scripting, and then go to sleep when the sun came up. And then I'd sleep for a few hours and get up around noon, and then I'd have the rest of the afternoon to go and do that stuff again if I wanted to. It's honestly a life that I don't want back. I hated doing that, but I mean, at the time, that's what I had to do. And then in 2014, I was promoted to a full-time position at that place of employment, and even then that kind of made it harder to do Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. But the schedule was always different. It wasn't a consistent schedule. So yeah, I may have had an afternoon to go do it, and then I had a later shift to work and such, you know. But with the jobs that I've had in recent years, it's a set schedule. It's a daytime schedule. It's not the same like it used to be. So I can't just go out during the day and film all this stuff the way that I used to. So that's the one thing there, is just MVS is too time consuming, and there's just not enough time in the, you know, in the day or so to really work and then go film a car immediately after, and then work on the editing and stuff throughout the entire week like I was doing for a little while. So that's the main reason. It's just the time, the situation in life, where my life is now. I'm just I can't do it. And the second thing is really, you know, ever since, you know, the pandemic, there's, you know, some dealerships are still kind of recovering from supply chain issues and such. I know at my dealerships, I work for a Honda dealership. You know, the Honda dealership, we don't really have many new cars on the lot. In fact, we maybe get like 2 or 3 of them at a time, and they honestly, they go pretty quick. A lot of these are maybe, I'm pretty sure a lot of these are pre-ordered. You know, customer comes in, they pre-order the car that they want, and basically they're there as soon as it gets off the truck, and they take it, you know, in most cases. So we really don't have inventory, and that goes for used cars too. You know, we get a lot of used cars in. Like, we had, you know, quite a few of them traded in, or some used cars, you know, that were ready to be for sale and such, and the lot's pretty much empty at this point. So ever since the pandemic, there are some dealerships out there who are still struggling with getting inventory, or a lot of stuff is, you know, already kind of getting pre-ordered, and it's already, you know, as soon as the truck delivers the vehicle, it's already ready for sale. So after it goes through inspection, that customer is getting a phone call, and that car is leaving, could be, you know, in just a couple hours after the car is delivered. So inventory is just not the same in a lot of places. Some places that I used to film at look like they've recovered okay, but some other ones that I used to film at look like they haven't recovered. So COVID kind of changed a little bit of the infrastructure as far as car buying, and you know, a lot of people were buying cars from their homes, you know, at the time, and just having them delivered to the dealership when they're produced. And yeah, so that's another thing too. There just aren't too many new ones to film. Trust me, I would love to bring some new cars to you guys. You know, like some of the new Hondas are really, I find to be really awesome. It was a little bit easier to get the permissions to do this stuff when I was a little younger, but I don't know if you know, talking to, you know, people nowadays is going to be the same as it was back then. And you know, when I went scouting for MVS, and you know, I would visit dealerships, you know, in the area. You know, there were a couple of dealerships that I really wanted to. I really wanted to get a couple of names on the channel, a couple of brands, and you know, I would legit go with business cards with my phone number, the you know, it would say Mike's Vehicle Spotlight on it. It would have a little description on the back of exactly what MVS is, and you know, I would legit hand them out professionally, you know, and I would talk to these sales managers and dealership managers and tell them what I want to do, what I try to accomplish, and some of them would say no right away. Some of them would think about it and would call me up at some point and just say, you know, we can't have you here. Could be for dealership branding, licensing or stuff like that. But I'm actually impressed with the amount of people that actually let me do MVS. And, you know, I was able to bring a little over a dozen brands, I think, to the channel. So I mean, I was pretty happy with that. But I did try to branch out a little more. I had one guy actually laugh at me, to be quite honest. And when I was going into that dealership, I had seen this guy on some. At the time, he was actually on their commercials, and I was always like, I bet that guy's really nice, you know. And then finally went to meet this guy, and he just said, no, this is, you're just gonna be wasting our time. And so yeah, it happens. But like I said, I got a lot of good cars out of it. I got a lot of good dealerships out of it, and I just don't think it would be the same to go talk to people and see if I could do what I used to do. It's just over. So I mean, as much as I hate to say it, and I really do hate to say it, because I was so passionate about this, but MVS is, it's not coming back. For the time reasons, for the most inventory reasons, and just for the overall fact that I don't think anybody will take it seriously. Times have definitely changed between 2011 and 2023, and not just necessarily in the dealerships and stuff, but just the overall attitude of people. A lot of people have changed. A lot of people just aren't nice to other people anymore, and I don't see that happening when it comes time to talk to people about wanting to pursue MVS again. So those are really the main reasons. But yeah, I hate to break it to you guys, but I'm sorry. It's MVS it can't come back. It's really not feasible. So I'm sorry. Hopefully, you guys can still kind of, enjoy the older MVS features. I know there's not a whole lot of recent cars there anymore. I'm actually still surprised that some of the videos that do still get some pretty good turnover rates, views, and I don't know. That's really all I gotta say. And as far as the vlogs, I know they aren't the same as MVS. In a lot of ways, really, but it is what I have to go on for you guys now, and hopefully you guys still find it all interesting. I know not everything I post is as interesting as the last or next, or but it's still my way to kind of bring you guys car content. Definitely, in the forms of repairing and all the stories that I've had to say, and the projects, and more knowledge of cars now that I've went to school for automotive technology. So, I mean, stuff that I've been trying to share since MVS kind of stopped. Hopefully it still entertains a lot of you guys, but yeah, that's really all that I have to say. I wish I could have just come on here and said, yeah, you know what, I'd bring it back in a heartbeat. And honestly, if I could, I would. But it's just, it can't happen. It just can't. So that's where I'm gonna leave you guys today. I hope that you did enjoy this. I hope you guys enjoyed actually looking back at what the channel used to look like. I still can't believe that stuff is actually still out there in an archive. That just blows my mind. But I thought that was interesting. Now that I mentioned that, have you guys, when back a long time ago, like when YouTube was still just a few years old, I used to be able to download videos from YouTube that I thought were, I used to download like music videos and skits and stuff like that off of YouTube, that I found funny, and I came across one of my old computer backup files. I mean, I'm talking like 2007, 2008, and there was a video on there that I had downloaded, and I can't find it anymore. It's definitely not on YouTube anymore, but it was It was called the Aztec Hunter, and it was this girl who had a blue Aztec, and she was dressed up in like a safari attire. Like, I think she was trying to like impersonate Steve Irwin, and her objective in the video was, you know, she got into her Aztec and she talked with like the accent and everything. It was funny, but she talked in the accent. She would get into her Aztec, and she drove to, you know, like a grocery store or something, and she's looking for other Aztecs. And the whole point of this is the joke that, you know, the grocery store parking lot is like a meeting ground for all cars, like as if you were talking about like wildlife. You know, it's like where a herd of cars and stuff are. And when she found one, you know, she would leave like a note or a tag or something on the thing, and she never said what it was, but I've always kind of been curious. And at the time, and I watched it once I found it on the disc, but I thought it was hilarious, and I wondered if it was still out there, and it's not. So, like I said, it's an old video. I don't know why I brought that up, since we were just talking about old stuff, but it was funny. I wish it was still out there, because I'd love for all the Aztec people who may still be watching this to check it out. I thought it was hilarious, and I still thought it was kind of humorous today. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.